Hey guys, this is Nurse Jet, Nursing the Truth, and I hope everyone is having a great day. As usual, I have my spiritual chakra candle going with God Thoth, God Anubis, and Goddess Bastet. So, my previous video was Thoth said that entities had made a planet. Oh yes, my dear beloveds, the space-born, the ones that broke through the ether and created. You must listen to that video. So, as I said before, I don't like it when anyone talks about God Thoth, the mind of God, the Theos. Yes, my dear beloveds. So, I'm just showing you that he is not a reptilian. He is not a fork-a-tongued devil. He is not Satan. And he does not send you to hell because that was created by the Catholic Church. So, let's dig into the Emerald Tablets and let you decide, do you think he is a reptilian? Do you think he is of negative energy? Let's see what God Thoth has to say about reptiles. And it says, far in the past, before Atlantis existed, that's a long time ago, men there were who delved into darkness, using dark magic, calling up beings from the great deep below us. Forth came they into this cycle, formless were they of another vibration, existing unseen by the children of earth men. Only through blood could they have formed being. Only through man could they live in the world. In ages past were they conquered by masters. Master Thoth, ascended master, driven below to the place whence they came. But some there were who remained hidden in spaces and plains unknown to man. Lived they in Atlantis as shadows, but at times they appeared among men. When the blood was offered, for they came they to dwell among men. In the form of man they amongst us, but only to sight were they as men, and serpent-headed when the glamour was lifted, but appearing to man as men among men. Okay. The only antiquity book that I have ever read has this ever had it in there. You better believe it, dear truth seekers. Truth is stranger than fiction. Serpent-headed when the glamour was lifted, but appearing to man as men among men. Crept they into the councils, taking forms that were like unto men, slaying by their arts the chiefs of the kingdoms, taking their form and ruling over men. Only by magic could they be discovered. Thoth is the god of magic. Only by sound could their faces be seen. Sought they from the kingdom of shadows to destroy man and rule in his place. But know ye, the masters were mighty in magic, able to lift the veil from the face of the serpent, able to send him back to his place. Came they to man and taught him the secret, the word that only a man can pronounce. Swift then they lifted the veil from the serpent and cast him forth from the place among men. What word? All caps. What word, God Thoth, are we talking about? Because God Thoth, you were called the Word, the Logos, the Theos, the most mightiest God in all of Egypt. And you were the ascended master that came to Egypt from Atlantis. And you brought with you the high priest of the mysteries. And you told them to go to all the world and the nations. And they buried the books of Thoth. Because as these conquerors were coming and killing all these people from Mesoamerica, they had to preserve. And this is what they found in Central America. We are amongst a heavy force. You may laugh at David Icke, but my friends, he even goes with what Nurse Jay has said, and I have not even looked at his videos on what God Thoth said. And before I made my video, all my hair on my arms stood up. And David Icke is on my side, and he says that Thoth talks about the reptilians. So you cannot say that God Thoth is a reptilian. He is telling you about these things. He is letting you know the evil in the ethereal realm from the other space forces, the other universal forces. And they thirst upon the blood and the sacrifices because they need it to live. God Thoth is the smartest, the most wisest entity there could have ever been. He is the ascended master. God Thoth, what is the word? Came they to man and taught him the secret, the word that only a man can pronounce. Swift then they left the veil from the serpent and cast him forth from the place among men. Is this the hollow of the earth? Is this core and the mantle of the earth? Yet, God Thoth says, beware, the serpent still liveth in a place that is opened at times to the world. Unseen, they walk among thee in places where the rites have been said. Again, as time passes onward, shall they take the resemblance of men. The serpent still liveth. Portals manipulation of portals. Iraq has one of the largest portals there are, that they say. They're unseen. They walk amongst us in places where the rights have been said. And again and again and again, as time passes onward, shall they take the resemblance of men. So, all the wars, all the killings, all the murders, the reptilians still live. What about the religious rites? What about Enlil, Jehovah, Yahweh? What about all of that? What about in the Muslim countries? And what about in Israel? When they have all of these religious ceremonies, and you can go online and see how they slit these animals' throats in Israel today. And the blood just drips and flows down the street. And the poor cows have their hooves tied together. And the goats and the lambs, their throats are slain by the millions. Because you know what it says in Scripture. Or, as we know in science, blood is life. To go to the ethereal, to the material, my dear truth seekers, you must have blood to function in a material body. And it's a sad day. It's going to be a sad day if we're ever living here at this present time and moment when people do not believe these things. And these things creep up. And people are shocked. And they call all of us tin heads. You got your antennas on your heads. You are the apocalyptic nut jobs. All of antiquity has talked about these things. They had rituals of killing, slaughtering. So, is it a situation? Is it just a situation? I'm not sure. I'm just giving you the material and I'm questioning it myself. Is it a situation that God Thoth in tablet number 4, talking about the spaceborn, talking about they constructed a planet. They got out of toil. They created ethereal beings, changed to material beings. And they, under the auspices of material beings, that they are serpents, had mass killings to continue. So how then can God Thoth be a reptilian? An evil. He was an ascended master. He knew magic on a vibrational frequency, cosmic law of the all. You must understand, my truth seekers, that we are all spiritual and have souls. We all go back to the prime all, whatever the all is. We have light in us. Depending on more light, the more you ascend. How high do you get in the realms of the heavens? How many times do you have to be reincarnated here to get to the top? God Thoth was always wondering and questioning and wanting wisdom and knowledge. When he was up there and his body separated from the material, as he said, he was set free. He was called to come here and teach man. He was the Word from the Creator, and he gave 142 confessions of ancient Egypt. Commandments to live by that are not going to harm man, as if do not kill, do not covet, do not commit adultery. He was the voice of God. Sorry if you do not like my analogies. I am just telling you what ancient Egypt said of this entity. And you can look it up for yourself. Nurse J is not telling you anything else. When you do your history research on Thoth and ancient Egypt and you read the Emerald Tablets, you will put 2 and 2 together and will always get 4. He is not a reptilian. He is of not evil darkness, and he is not of an evildoer. He has the power and the might, and if you call on him, he will show you how to survive this planned net that entities, whether they're Anunnaki, Draconians, reptilians, Pleiadians, whatever the case is, the Titans, the Olympians. Oh, God Thoth is way smarter because, as he said, he stood back and was watching their wisdom. Watching their wisdom. God Thoth will laugh at you all day and go, you know what? Who held the sun and the stars and the planets? Were you there, oh man? Just like he laughed in the Gods of Egypt movie. Where were you? Oh man, your brains would come out of your head. You cannot comprehend what I know. So until then, truth seekers, I hope Nurse J has proved her point that Thoth was not a reptilian. So until then, Hotep and Ashe and God Thoth says, always seek the truth and the light and the wisdom, and know that you are the son of the sun and a child of the stars. Until next time, Hotep and Ashe, and have a great, great Wednesday. Goodbye, my friends.